What's up guys, welcome back to another video. You're here with the DIY Haircut Studio. Here you can see I'm giving you a twirl. Oh, and remember, please subscribe and like this video. So, I start by brushing my hair forward and then create a middle parting. I always tend to use my nose as the perfect middle point. Then using the fine tooth comb, I drag the first bit of hair, which is the fringe, making sure that the hair is perfectly vertical from my head. I then point cut my hair to add a bit of texture, and I'll explain this in another video. Once I've cut that first section, I'll drag that down and then pull the next section up. So you can see here, I've dragged the first two sections down, and then again using the thin comb, I'm pulling vertically up and point cutting to add texture. You can see that's the thin side of the comb. What I was aiming for in this haircut was to cut around 1 centimetre off, just a little top up. I then move on to the back of the head, where I use a different cutting technique, which is to get a more straight cut. This is because at the back I want it to marry up a little bit nicer. You can see my arm was absolutely killing me. Don't worry if you experience this, it's completely normal. Once I've gone all the way to the back of my head, I'll brush the hair forward again and do another middle part. This time though, taking the right hand section and again pulling vertically out, but making sure I'm cutting the same amount off. Once again, brushing that first section out of the way and picking up the second section. Jumping then to the whole right section being complete, I then brush all the hair forward and try and line up the front. This is just the style I like and is not compulsory. The two key elements to this though are making sure the hair is fully brushed forward and remembering that hair is longer when it's wetter, so make sure you remember that when cutting. Oh, and only do this if you feel comfortable with your steady hand. Once I've lined up the front using the scissors, again I'll brush the hair forward, but this time creating a side parting. Essentially what I'm doing here is pulling all the hair to the side that is at the point of the recession, and then all of the rest of the hair going forwards. This then makes sure that when I'm cutting the sides like this, I don't pick up any of that hair that I want on the top. So what I'm doing here is making sure I'm pulling the comb out horizontally and then getting any of those hairs that are sort of sticking out, if you like. This technique is really helpful for blending, as you can see. I then go through the hair to see if there's any things that I've missed, as you can see here. I would really advise doing this, as you can see I've even missed a bit, so always good to check. I then move on to a bit of scissor overcomb. I much prefer this when self-trimming. It's a lot safer and easier to do. It can be quite difficult in terms of flexibility, as you can see I'm not the most flexible. In another video I'll go into a lot more depth of the technique to do this, both while cutting other people's hair and your own hair. The basics are pull the hair out with the comb and go over with the scissors, but making sure to always keep the same distance away from your head. As you can see, when I think it's all blended I give it a little ruffle, make myself feel a bit better, hide the hairline. Then before starting the other side, resetting the hair by brushing the hair forward. You then want to repeat the exact same process on the other side of your head, so do that middle parting, pick up the left hand side, point cut, do a little bit of scissor overcomb to really help that blending, doing the back as well, making sure everything is connected. Once I feel like I've cut every inch of the top, I'll give it another ruffle, style it a little bit, make sure it's ready for when I want to cut the sides, which you'll see in the next video. Stay tuned, thanks for watching.